Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of Vibe with Five with our partners LiveScore and their free-to-play football prediction game, LiveScore 6. This week, I'm joined again in the studio by this legend over here, Fara Williams, bringing on some heat last week, huh?
A little bit.
Just a little bit of heat. And we have a special guest joining us today, all the way from StreamYard. Steve, what are you saying, man?
Not much. What are you saying?
Oh, man, I thought you would be a little bit more happy than that, since the draw and stuff like that. It felt like a win, no, right?
No.
No? Well, we'll get back to that.
It's a draw, Joel. Let's not be Arsenal about it. It was a draw.
This week, LiveScore 6 are offering you another chance to win a massive £1 million. And all you have to do is predict 6 scores correctly, and you could find yourself with a win of a £1 million prize in your pockets, and you can actually enjoy a nice little Christmas bonus. So you know what to do. Click the LiveScore link in the top right or in the description. Download the app and sign up to LiveScore 6. Predict the 6 scores for a chance to win the £1 million prize. Only in the UK and Ireland, and you have to be over 18 to enter. Full T's and C's apply. Tune in at the end of the show where we will be sharing our LiveScore 6 predictions for this week.
It's a Vibe with five, and you already know this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with this week's episode of Vibe with Five. Farah, thank you very much for coming back, man. There was so much positive comments just about your knowledge and loan and what you had said last week. And we just had to get you back on, man. And I know you came on the show last season and sometimes we're like, come on, man. But you're like, oh, I'm doing BBB, Boots, Balls and Bras. But I want you guys to check out that show as well on the platform. It's doing so well. And honestly, it's refreshing to hear yours and Eartha's voices. Please keep it up. You got my guy Steve over here who's not too well, but he still soldiered it in. Well done, Steve. Well done.
Hey, listen, I just want to say, you need to go listen to Farah, because whenever you think she's going to go one way on any topic, she will go the complete opposite way and then back it up and batter you with facts. So Farah's my favourite presenter that we have on the entire channel, because I think she knows what she's talking about, can back it up, and is independently thinking as well. She don't go with the flow. She's right pain in the arse, and I appreciate that. I don't know who told you that.
Okay, cool. I thought it was you in Qatar, but I guess what happens in Qatar stays in Qatar. So we had interesting results yesterday. I want to start off with Liverpool versus Man United. If I'm honest with you, for the sake of the channel, I was going around going, it's going to be another 7. Yeah. But I was saying it just to get a reaction from Steve and Rio. But to be honest with you, I didn't quite think it would be that, because I think if you got pride about yourself, you're going to come out and you're going to show something. And I really think they did yesterday. Steve, you obviously watched the game. You covered it on your channel as well. Did you think it was going to be a heavy drubbing?
Of course I did. What have you seen from United this season that would make you think anything other than
the Chelsea performance?
Well, but again, that's at home, and Liverpool at Anfield are a different kettle of fish. And even though I've watched them the last few weeks, and I've watched them in games away from home, they've been poor and they've been lucky to sort of scrape through and get results when they've not been playing well. But at Anfield, they are freaky good. Like, you got to hold your hands up and say, at Anfield, you're up against it. And if you look at the stats from yesterday's game and you compare that to the game that finished 7-0, the XG was very similar. The possession was actually better yesterday than it was in the 7-0. They had 34 shots yesterday, whereas they only had 18 in the 7-0. And in both games, it was 8 shots on target for Liverpool. And they scored 7 from 8 shots on target, which that even shows that we got away with it in a big way yesterday, which I think we did, to be honest. I think at least one of them goals should have gone in. Or the 7-0 as a scoreline completely flattered them last year. I'm not getting carried away with this. Like, this is a great result, but it wasn't a good performance by any stretch of the imagination.
I think the difference is, Steve, when you're looking at the 7-0, yes, you're right. They were obviously more clinical, but I think the most important thing is their strikers, their forward players were finishing their chances. So last time you had Gakpo, he had 2 goals, 2 within the space of 7 minutes. Nunez, getting 2 goals again in the second half. Like, they were finishing their, I keep saying the same phrase, but they were really, really potent in front of goal. Salah, again, second half, boom. Like, they came out firing. Firmino, 88th minute, boom. So they weren't messing around. I think the difference is this time, Steve, Like, I thought Onana had a brilliant game, by the way, if I'm honest with you. I'm always throwing digs here and there, but I thought his distribution was pretty good. I know Gary Neville apparently said that he wasted it quite a few times, but I thought, okay, you know, there were some that went out, but I think I was there. If you look at it overall, I think he actually has you guys playing better from the back. And I think the more he grew into the game, I think he was the catalyst that actually helped you guys, you know, play okay. I'm not saying you were great with the ball, but, you know, you defended well.
If he gets his form, though, if Onana can start playing how we've seen him play for Inter, I think that's why they brought him in. They wanted to build from the back. They wanted his distribution, which is key because he's not just playing out from the back. He's able to miss lines. He's able to play between lines with his distribution. If you can get him playing anywhere near that, Man United will be a lot better than what they are. Obviously, we've already spoke to you last week on the show how much injuries United have had. But for Liverpool, you're right. I think if you go back to last year, and obviously you said Gakpo and Nunez with the goals, but they're so inconsistent. Yeah. In terms of like in front of goal, like the amount of chances Nunez needs to convert, that, you know, the ratio is quite high. But I think if he can get his consistency, he's a top striker. He can be a top striker. I really like Nunez. I think he's got a lot to his game, more than what people see. And sometimes, especially with strikers, for him, he works too hard. And it sounds really stupid to say a striker works hard, but he works so hard off the ball in terms of like, you know, with speed and pressing and
too hard or just or.
I don't like to say silly because as a fan, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but as fans, they like to see players working off the ball. And I think he does that a lot. But I'm saying then he's just erratic. He still has that tempo and intensity in front of goal, and he doesn't slow himself down. He doesn't set himself. His feet are never really set in front of goal.
It's like he's jittery.
He gets in good positions, but as I say, I think he's just playing all the time. He's always at his head going at such an intensity. He's never steady. He's never balanced when he's approaching. You know what I mean?
In front of
But as a player, I really like him, and I think that like if they can work with him, we can work. You know, in terms of maybe 1-to-1, doing a little bit away from the pitch, away from like team stuff. In terms of that controlled in front of goal, he could be a top striker.
Agreed.
But yeah, I think if you look at the stats that Steve's put out there, they weren't clinical yesterday, and that was the difference because you know, chances in front of goal last year, was it flattering? If you look at it now, it probably was in terms of scoring 7 from 8 on target. That's clinical. That could have been the difference.
I disagree. He can be a top striker because I think he can score a lot of goals, but I don't think he'll ever be a top striker. And I know some people will be like,
ain't that striker's job though to score goals?
It is, but I think he wastes so many chances. He's never outperformed his XG. He's always hugely.
That's what I'm saying. But how does he get that? He needs to do other work. Like someone needs to work with him because he gets into good areas. His movement is actually really good. He's a nightmare for defenders for sure.
Problem.
Like how many? Like for me, in old school, like now you have so many. For me, so many strikers that want to come to the ball, never run beyond. Like centre halves that are running and facing their own goal, chasing a striker down. It's horrible defending. If he worked that out better and was more bad, as I say, his control in front of goal is poor. There was the areas that he gets into.
There was an opportunity yesterday when he got into. He was just outside United's box while he got in there, and then there was he could have literally shot, but he was there doing this, like didn't know whether to let it go or not, and the frustration, you know, from the Anfield crowd, like honestly, like he really sucked the energy out of them. And I just thought to myself, if you don't start scoring now, you can see that the fans are going to be on his back a little bit.
Like, they love him though, you know. Liverpool
they
fans,
love him because he works hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's frustrating. Again, I saw the frustration from the fans. Like it got to a point where they were like, you could tell like that it just wasn't going for them. And I think when that was happening, Onana was growing in energy, and then you know I saw disciplined performances from Johnny Evans. I thought, again, Luke Shaw, him being back, I think that is so critical for United and stuff like that. So, you know, I think it was a draw was a fair result. But Steve, I want to talk to you about Kobbie Mainoo, your guy. You've been telling me about this guy since before I knew what he was about. You know what I mean? Another mature performance from him?
I think... I said it on a video this morning. Whoever taught this kid how to play football needs finding and given a job at United, because I'll throw you this. This is his entire football CV of Kobbie Mainoo at the moment. He's had 3 Premier League starts. That's it, right? Those starts have been away at Goodison, away at St James's, and away at Anfield. Do you know how easy life's going to get for him now on? You know, and his other 2 games that he's played this year is Galatasaray away, where he came off the bench, and Bayern Munich at home, where he came off the bench. And in every single one of those games, he's looked good. There hasn't been a single instance where you go, this kid's a little bit naive, or this kid's not. His decision-making and his composure and his game intelligence, it's like a 39-year-old player on the pitch. He's a joke.
I think the only game where you could kind of go, you know what, it wasn't great, but I wouldn't put it down to him, was probably the Newcastle game. I think he just got outrun in midfield, and, you know, like, he just didn't have maybe the support he needed. But I do agree, overall, bro, like, the kid is a baller.
But that's what I mean, like that. But you lot aren't playing well, right? So United haven't been playing well, and then you got a kid like that as you say, like, in big games. You think of the games you've just named in terms of where they started, all away from home, not at Old Trafford, and you've been poor at Old Trafford. Play him. As you say, that balance, that knowledge, that, you know, you don't. If you understand the game, people talk about experience. We need experience in game. If you had a kid, it doesn't matter the age of you. If you understand a game and can read a game, it don't matter the age of you. And that's something that he brings to them. He brings that control to them, that discipline, that, as you say, that creativity, all of those things. He just brings it at such a... It's like Jude Bellingham. No one don't say, oh, he's inexperienced. Yeah. Actually, he plays with like a kid that's, you know, played for 20 plus years. Yeah. So if you're already advanced, age or experience doesn't matter. Yeah. If you understand the game, I don't know why he should be playing more. Yeah, exactly. And he should be playing more. Yeah. He should definitely be playing more.
But don't you think that
it's not a good enough, old enough thing? It's when people talk about experience, what they're really saying is decision making.
Yeah, exactly. Because they think,
and he's got it. He's absolutely 10 out of 10 for it. Like, could you actually improve on his decision making? Every time I watch him, I go, yeah, that was right. The way he slows it down, the way he draws others onto him. You know, sometimes he'll try and speed the tempo up, go a little bit one touch. Sometimes he'll put his foot on the ball. Like, it's decision making is freaky good.
Why don't they play him more regularly?
It's ridiculous.
Well, don't you think it's the Amrabat thing? Because yesterday you were probably lucky because Bruno never played. It made it easier, didn't it?
Yes and no. I mean, I think United have got a massive decision to make, and giving McTominay the armband probably means that you can't just drop him at weekend now when Bruno comes back in. But for me, you should, because I thought, I know it's a mad thing to try this, but we go to Anfield, probably one of the best presses in world football. Liverpool at home at Anfield, playing against Manchester United, first 20 minutes of the game. You're talking absolute chaos of a press. But you've got Johnny Evans, you've got Luke Shaw, you've got Raphael Varane, you've got Amrabat, and you've got Mainoo. You've got 5 players there that are actually comfortable taking the ball. And we still struggled. And we didn't really have the option to go long, so we kind of tried to persist in playing out. Now, that unit has never played together. That partnership has never played together at defence. That partnership has never played together in midfield. So the fact that they was even trying that was kind of good to see, but kind of, you know, maybe there's a time for being a bit pragmatic here and just bash it long and try and win the second ball. But I worry that McTominay is going to find his way into the team against West Ham and against Villa, because I thought one of the best things about United yesterday was the composure in that little foursome of Varane, of Evans, of Amrabat, of Mainoo. And I think Amrabat was probably the one that was a little bit the most disappointing. But the one thing that he's brought alongside Mainoo, which we haven't had, I mean, even you go back all the way to that Wolves game at the start of the season, it's 11-a-side basketball watching United at the moment. You know, even that Chelsea game where, you know, okay, we had a pretty good performance, but we were winning it on the front foot by taking it off the likes of Disasi and Colwell at the back. We didn't really play good football. And the game was still really, really transitional. Like, I would like United to try and hold on to a game a little bit. So if that means playing Varane and Evans and Amrabat and Mainoo in front of him and sacrificing McTominay so you can have a little bit more control, I'll be all for that.
Saying that about Varane, by the way, there is actually some news that I saw on the 5 UK platform whilst I was preparing for this. If you don't follow 5 UK on Instagram, please make sure you do so. So this is about Varane. Before his recall in the starting 11 against Bayern Munich last week, Raphael Varane was understood to have concerned and thought he was potentially being forced out. He wants to stay at Old Trafford, says Samuel Luckhurst. Now, I don't really know what's going on with the Varane situation, Steve. I don't know what you're hearing near your area, like up there in Manchester. From what you hear, is he staying? Is he going? Is he happy? Is he not happy?
I don't know.
What's going on?
The problem is you've just cited Luckhurst there. Luckhurst was one of the ones that was banned from the press conference last week for just a lot of old bollocks and not checking it with a club. So that could be a toss of a coin whether that's true or false. Who knows? I have no idea. I haven't heard a damn thing about what has happened with Varane and Erik ten Hag. And I thought there was an opportunity yesterday from Ten Hag to Varane is our vice captain. So you could easily have given Varane the armband and even played a little bit of the PR game and been like, look, there's no dramas here. I made him captain at Anfield. There's no problems. Supposedly, one of the issues was he didn't think he could play left side centre half. Well, I think he's shown yesterday that he absolutely could.
What a performance.
Mate, you can't have your vice captain.
Johnny Evans and
Steve,
Raphael Varane, from a footballing point of view, is our best available defensive partnership. And shout out to Johnny Evans, by the way, for being able to go and get a clean sheet at Anfield at 35.
Stop
Ridiculous.
talking 35. I played till I was 37 and a bit.
Yeah.
Nah, Steve, right? What I'm saying, if you don't want... The thing is, what frustrates me with Ten Hag, right? You talk about all of the stuff that's been going on, the Maguire stuff, the Sancho stuff, all of this stuff that goes on. There's obviously been rumours about the Varane stuff and a fallout. He's your vice captain. He obviously come back in midweek in the Champions League. And then, as you say, you go to Anfield and you give the armband to Mctominay. So you're already making people talk. Because they'd be like, well, why have you given it to McTominay? Why is Varane, if he's your vice captain and Bruno's not playing, has he not been given the armband? So you're continuing to allow people to talk when he could have just hushed that up by giving Varane the armband if he's your vice captain. Because that shows there's something going on there, for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't quiet it down, does it?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if it definitely shows something's there, but it doesn't.
Like for me, Ten Hag likes to be spoken.
There was an opportunity to shut it up, and he didn't.
Yeah, so he's like he likes the noise. It's like he encourages the noise sometimes when he could just, as you say, hush it up.
Steve, how would you rate, and I'm not trying to get you to come out here and say anything funny or negative, I just want your honest opinion. You manage a team, shout out to the Stretford Paddock boys. How, again, the messaging that Fara's, talking about here, how would you rate Ten Hag's messaging to the press since he's arrived? If you was to give it a score out of 10.
To the press, I think it's been quite good, but what's said to the press and what's said in the changing rooms are two different things altogether, and almost one doesn't affect the other. In my opinion, one doesn't affect the other, or shouldn't affect the other. I think the way he's taken a lot of ownership, I like that sort of attitude where he goes, nope, that's on me. And I like that because I don't like managers that look for excuses. And I think one thing that Ten Hag's never done in any of his press conferences is sort of look for excuses. I think he's been quite stoic, and I think he's been quite quick to own any situation that's happened at the club. I think his handling the Jadon Sancho situation was probably correct. As you know, that's my thoughts on that in the first place. There was a lot that was going on behind the scenes, and I think his handling of that was probably forced by what was going on with the player. What we see from the public point of view was not the second thing he tried. He didn't, send him away to Holland to get his head right and then just talk about it in the press. There was obviously loads of other things that happened.
Yeah, but
between then.
You know what, Steve, though, right? Even if you're not an athlete, right? Even just as a day-to-day person, being shamed into things is probably the worst thing you can do to somebody. And most of those acts on Jadon Sancho, for me, is shaming him. I'm going to send you away because you're not fit enough. I'm going to do this. And isolating somebody from a collective group and it going out publicly, like that don't help as a manager and as a player. For me, you're doing that and shaming me. You think you're going to get a response. You're only going to get a negative...
That wasn't why he went to Holland, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you only get negative responses from isolating people. And I feel like Sancho has a voice to be able to say, when the comments come out from Ten Hag, to back himself up and actually, say from his point of view, actually it wasn't like that or whatever. We're never going to know the truth until
Sancho writes a book
Sancho actually says
Ten
something.
Hag
So
or
it's
whatever.
quite difficult. And he's going to try and outlast him, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the
Sancho's going to
fact.
try and outlast him,
the
and players can do that.
Holland thing.
Go on, Steve.
I think him going to Holland, that was very much an arm around the shoulder kind of thing. Let me take you out the firing line and let me give you the time and space you need to go and get yourself sorted.
And that's maybe how Ten Hag's seen it, but as a player, you don't always see it like that.
Maybe.
Mate, you're going out of the country, you're going away because...
Obviously whatever's happened hasn't worked.
Yeah. No,
because of the situation we still find ourselves in. So, you can say whether it was the right decision at the time or not, but the bottom line is it hasn't worked. I don't think he's been wrong. You can disagree with me on that, that's fine, but I don't think he's been wrong in how he's handled it, but it hasn't worked how he's handled it. And then you've got the Varane situation, and I think a lot of people from the outset, I think we're guessing at one of the dramas that Jadon Sancho had was Jadon Sancho needs to play well week in, week out, whereas it seemed like Anthony would not have to do that. If that's rumoured to be one of his complaints, I think that's a perfectly valid reason to be upset, in all honesty.
Yeah, but you know what? Managers have preferences, and that is difficult. Like, they're things that you just have to suck up as a player. Like, no matter coaches you play under, where like it's not even that you're not good enough. It's just that I have a preference in Anthony or over Sancho, and that's probably Ten Hag's preference. You can't, as a player, you're never going to win that. You're never going to win that debate or argument. You just got to suck it up, and when you get your chance, you got to perform. So he probably is under more pressure to perform when he gets given the chance, but. Mate, you can't sulk about that. That's sport.
I think you can't sulk about it.
You'll know that you're a coach.
Yeah.
You know, it's preference. There'll be players that probably fans want you to play more so than the next player. But how many fans you get?
Steve
I'm just
doesn't
saying
care.
in general. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. These figures that you don't care, but players, you have to suck that up. So sulking about it ain't gonna, Sancho.
And also, look, just to quickly go over this Sancho situation, because it does get a bit boring, but we find ourselves here. I think it's. I agree with Steve. I think overall he's dealt with the media well. I think it's very important, but I don't think he got the Sancho
situation right.
I personally think that's where he went wrong, and I think he's tried to make it up now. When, for example, players ask him about Rashford, and he'll go, or whoever will go, I won't talk to the media about these players. I think that's a lesson learned from maybe the rash response he gave after the Arsenal game. Yeah. But I think besides that, I think obviously Sancho, I think he's got a lot of things wrong, and from what I know anyway. But there you go. Going forward, Steve, like, do you think this is now it's a kickstart season for United, or maybe it's come around at the right time? Because I think it rattled a few people. You had Van Dijk, saying what he said post-match. Obviously, Roy Keane wasn't happy with some of the comments as well. Like, what's your thoughts on all of that?
Well, yeah, it's two answers there, isn't there? So, firstly, no, I don't think it will kickstart us at the moment.
But Steve, the run of games you got, the run of games you got, the run of games United have got now, like over this Christmas period, in terms of
West Ham and Villa aren't a nice run of games.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you're at home to Villa, so at least you're not at Villa Park where they're strong at home. I'm just saying, like, if you're coming off the back of that, the Chelsea result, you've got to take something from that. Bournemouth, you've got to just wipe the floor, push it to the side. But they had a really good performance against Chelsea. They've gone to Anfield, which teams don't go to Anfield and get much from. Surely you've got to be thinking West Ham away. Like, I know Villa are in a good place at the minute.
Villa, Forest,
and then Forest. Them three
Wigan,
games in the Christmas period.
Tottenham.
You've got to be thinking 9 points. You've got to be thinking 7 to 9 points. And then
we can pick up results, but the performances aren't there. And I think you will always fall back to your level of performance. If performances are good, you'll get wins, and if your performances are bad, eventually you'll get losses. And I don't think we've seen any sort of consistency in performance, let alone result. Like, if you look at from the Everton game, which we won, we allowed 24 shots on goal against Everton. We allowed 34 shots on goal against Liverpool, and we come away with 2 clean sheets. That's luck. That's not good performance. Like, we got away with it in both of those instances. And then all the games in between, we're just allowing tens and tens and tens of shots on target, or at least on goal. That's not good. You got to get way more control in the game. And that's what I said earlier. I want to see United put our foot on the ball a little bit, stop this transitional football, stop people attacking us so much, start putting in performances that will then start to turn those results. What was the second part of the question?
To do with Van Dijk, if you don't mind me reading it out, Steve, for the people. There was only one team trying to win the game, but unfortunately it did not happen. We were superior in all aspects. They were hoping to hurt us on the counter, and they are buzzing with a point. Roy Keane replies, he goes, Virgil Van Dijk had arrogance coming out of him. Dissing Man United like that. He needs a reminder to himself. He's playing for a club who have won 1 title in 30-odd years. He's saying only one team wanted to win and United are buzzing with a point. United are in a difficult place, like Liverpool have been in a difficult place for many a year. So maybe that bit of arrogance backfired on him yesterday. Liverpool had opportunities and they didn't take them. That's their own fault. Nothing to do with Man United. And Klopp says that he can't remember such a dominant performance against Man United.
Mate, but even before, like, that happened, like he said it there. I think Roy Keane said it there. Teams do have bad periods. Man United have been in a really bad period. They have been for a long time, right? But I'd be buzzing with a point at Anfield. Doesn't matter whether you're fighting for the league or not. I reckon if City go there, City will be happy with a point. I'm not saying they celebrate. You can dominate performance. It's okay for him to say, oh, there's only one team trying to win it. Maybe United have gone there to try and pick up a point. Given the way the circumstances they're in at the moment. Like that's normal for teams to play like that. Like, I've played in teams where we're like, if we go away, we've got to survive, we've got to get a point. and we'll be happy to come away from that with a point. There's nothing wrong with them tactics. Liverpool, they probably would have done that in the past, but they are. But
season.
yeah. But I'm like, a point for United away at Anfield, or a point for anybody right now at Anfield is a good point.
Considering
and whether they're dominated or not, like for me, I'll be buzzing. Of course, I would be. Like you seen Arsenal the other week, scoring a last-minute winner against Luton. You're buzzing. You're buzzing because those 3 points you expect. Like you if you'd have come away with a draw, you don't get the same outcome in terms of the celebration response from players or whatever else. So being happy with a point,
I think it's just,
I'm not even a United fan. I'll be buzzing right now.
Yeah, I think it's just the competitiveness. I think in him, I think that's what it was.
But
because
United won't be the only team that go there to try and get something from a game.
Yeah,
it's just a rivalry thing. It's probably a comment where he probably wants to get like, oh yeah, like I'm like for the Liverpool fans, they'd love your captain to come out and say something like that.
Yeah.
So for Liverpool fans, they're probably buzzing with Van Dijk's comments after the game, but in terms of Roy Keane, it will probably ruffed up a few feathers there, right? Which it has because of the reaction.
Steve?
He's right. Roy Keane's premise is right. Like, and Farah's right. Everyone's right in this instance in that a point away at Anfield, peak Manchester United, treble winning European champions Manchester United take a point at Anfield all day long because it's on the home team to get a result in those games. When you're away, if you're away against anyone in the top four, you take a point because then they've dropped points at home. You're well happy with that. Then it's on you to try and win the home game. You're always happy with a point. But on Roy Keane's point, they've got to remember that this is a team that has won one title in 30 years. They go on like they've won 7 in 10 or something like that. The way they're absolutely smelling themselves. Like the arrogance in Liverpool, they forget they're a step above Blackburn and Leicester in terms of what they've achieved in the Premier League era. They've done absolutely fuck all. And the way they go on, like they're some sort of Hall of Famers, especially Van Dijk. Mate, what the fuck have you done? You're just a glorified Wes Morgan. Relax.
No, Steve, come on, man. You just took it a step too far. What have you done? Come on, my friend. He's won a title for them. He's won a Champions League.
What have they done?
He's won a Champions League for them.
What's the Champions League got to do with the Premier League?
No, but you're saying what has he done? He's done stuff for his club.
He's talking about the Premier League, aren't we?
If we're talking about the Premier League, he's won the title and he's also pushed City to the brink twice, losing out by 1 point.
In the last 10 years, United have finished second twice. So fucking what?
Yeah, but, they've been a good Liverpool team as well.
So fucking
big team in Europe. Look, I agree with what you're saying.
Don't be giving him flowers if you're not going to give Chris Smalling some. Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, like in terms of it's on the home. No, I do.
You're wrong.
No, I agree with what you're saying in terms of it is definitely the onus for the home team to win, and it's up to you to do the job at home, right? And going away, I agree, you get a point, and I agree with the majority of what Roy Keane's saying. But when you say what has he done, that's a bit like I don't agree with that last line, and that's it.
Mate, Klopp's comments about he's never seen a more dominant performance at Anfield against the United team, right? He then has to be disappointed with his players because they're not like that's. For me, I'd be more disappointed at the fact that my players haven't been clinical in front of goal than the fact that United haven't come to win the game.
They weren't firing.
If you're that dominant and can't win, what does it say about you?
They weren't firing, man. Salah. When Salah don't play well and the other guys don't contribute, it's a bit mad, isn't it? Like, is his head still at Liverpool at the moment?
Who's Salah?
Yeah, or is it in Saudi or?
No, I think he's at Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think his performances show that. I think what he's done. I think if you look at his stats in terms of assists, goals. But you're right. If he's playing well, Liverpool play well.
Yeah.
He dictates from the front. I mean, I was at Anfield the other week in the Europa League, and literally, they had like a second string team out, but. When he got the ball or when he started to press, everybody follows his lead. So he is a real and I know you say sometimes attacking players aren't leaders. He's a real leader in that Liverpool team, and he does it through his performances. So there's different types of leadership, but actually when he's on it, mate, the team follow. So when he has an off, there's not really somebody else that you look at and go, actually they carry Liverpool through.
But this is why they bought the Gakpos, right? And
Gakpo's not a.
Because we saw him at the World Cup, and when they bought him, I was like, oh,
see, I wasn't
a problem. Because I know United were in for him.
Yeah, but does he suit Liverpool style? I don't know. Gakpo's one of them for me. I don't know. I've seen when he was at PSV, I did a lot of Europa League games with them last year.
Yeah.
And there was so much talk about him.
Yeah. You didn't see it?
Nah, I don't. I certainly don't see how he fits in the Liverpool team, the way that they play. The way how Liverpool play, I don't think his style actually.
What way can you elaborate, please?
His strengths at PSV, right, was off the left-hand side. And he likes to cut in always on his right. He never goes down the outside on the left. Never ever beats anybody on the left-hand side. So if he's on the left-hand side, he's always coming infield. Really predictable in what he does. That delivery, the wrap pass to the far post, hoping that it either goes in or you get a striker coming on or a wide player coming late. But in terms of like, if he's playing central for Liverpool, him dropping into pockets, people getting invited, it doesn't work with him. It doesn't work. It gets really deep in it. Even when he's playing for Holland or the Netherlands, and he comes really deep. He then don't make the box. He comes really deep to link play, like inside his own half at times. I don't know. I just don't think his style as a 9. I don't know if he gets it in terms of like what is required as a number 9 in that Liverpool team. I don't know. It just doesn't. He don't do enough for me in there.
That's interesting.
He definitely don't. You got to watch it. He comes really, really deep.
He
tries to get too involved. I say that with Harry Kane at times. You know, if you're getting people to feel that, it's cool. But
yeah, but the difference with Harry Kane,
that's what I'm saying. He sees the pass,
so
he sees
good on the ball. Yeah,
so you don't mind it at times. But
world class, mate.
Gakpo's not the same, and he does. He gets too involved in real deep areas.
You want to see him further up?
I don't know.
Maybe he's trying to do a Firmino.
He ain't got the qualities as Firmino. He ain't. Firmino was. That's what I think as well. It's like when they lost Mane and they didn't see how much of an impact he had in that Liverpool team.
You can see it now, though, innit? You can see it now, innit?
Like, they're still trying to replace him. Firmino the same. What he did and how he linked. Firmino didn't drop deep like that. He dropped deep, but not deep. Like, he'd come off players. He'd come off centre-halves and got into little pockets, but he didn't. Gakpo don't just drop short into little pockets to try and face and create. He don't do that. He comes deep, deep, deep.
Wow.
But also, yeah, as I said, you had Mane that would go past Firmino. You'd have Salah that would do that. You don't have people doing that when Gakpo comes really involved into the game.
Arsenal. Back where they belong. Top of the league. Listen, I want to give a massive shout out to Kai Havertz. I think there were many fans out there who have probably been really critical of him when he made his £65 million move.
Not me.
I think, obviously, look, he scored as many goals in his last 7 matches for Arsenal as he had done in these previous 40 Premier League games combined. It shows, innit, why I'm not the coach and Arteta is.
Mate, you know what, Joe? When Chelsea sold him, like, when he was at Chelsea, I was like, you know, when you go and watch him, especially live, sometimes TV don't really show or stats and all that. When you watch him, he's an absolute baller. Like, the way he moves with the ball, the way
let's slow down.
He is. I loved him.
He is an
absolute baller. I promise you. You know when you think street foot? No, he's so good, but I can't find his position. I struggle to be like, yeah, it is, and that's what. But what I'm saying, when I'm just looking on the eye, his touches, his movements, and the things that he does, I loved watching him.
You're a big fan, yeah?
Yeah, I loved him. Really did. Yeah, but I couldn't. The only frustrating things was stats never backed up. Like, you know, like when you think of cage football.
Yeah.
Mate, he's smooth on the ball. Like, he's so tight. Like, honestly, I'm like, I loved it. I love watching him.
Smooth, tight? I wouldn't really consider like his playing style tight. If I'm honest with you.
Tidy. No, his touches, I'm saying. When he takes the ball.
When it works out, sometimes it bounces off him. But this is what I'm saying. I don't know what kind.
When he's on it, right, I promise you, like, I swear, like, even Marcus asked, I was like, when he was buzzing that you lot signed him, I'm like, nah, we've lost him. But in terms of losing him because of his stats don't back up, like, I'm just thinking, like, I'm looking like, you know, like if you're in a cage and you see somebody like that, you're like, he's a baller.
Yeah.
That's how I'm seeing him. He's a bit like that. But then actually when you transfer that to the big game and actually having stats that back up assists or goals or whatever, he didn't have that. Yeah. But I'm just talking like, I'm talking cage street football. Like, he's like, if you put him in a cage, I know. But that's why I liked him. I'm watching him. I'm like, you could see it. Like the little shit, like, you know.
He can play. And it's you see it all the time for Germany anyway.
I think what's good is that it's hard, isn't it? Arteta plays a certain way and with his 210s and all that. And I actually think he's finding it. His runs in advance now are a lot more like timed better. Like he does all of that better.
Did you see the finish?
He's finding his feet in the Arsenal team. And I think but what I'm saying, when he finds his feet, I think you'll see the very best of him.
I hope
what Chelsea paid for him to bring him to the Premier League, I don't think we quite saw it. We saw it in glimpses at Chelsea.
What about what we paid for him?
It's a bargain. I'm telling you. In time, it'll be a bargain.
I hope you're right.
In time, it'll be a bargain.
You're right.
I love him. I know I'll probably sound really stupid because his stats don't back up how I like him as a player.
I want you to be right. Yeah. Because if you're right,
I want him to do well. And I don't even like. I'm a Chelsea fan. I don't want Arsenal.
Right. Yeah, but you play for us though.
But I want him to do well because I actually think he's a really good player. But actually, in terms of like finding that place that actually, or that position on the pitch, and or even system in terms of like where does he fit that actually brings the best out of him. I think and I hope that Arteta can do that. We're starting to see it for sure.
I'm happy because if I'm honest with you, like for a while I was just going, What is going
No,
on
he's
here?
a nice footballer,
What
man.
is
I like
going
him
on
as a
here?
footballer.
Yeah, but I'm really happy that, you know, the last, 7 games or so, you started to see the real Kai Havertz. And I, you know, it's one of those stubborn decisions that I'm glad Arteta's kept with.
Like when you said in the first 2 years,
not with the
Arteta out. Arteta out in the first 2 years.
I didn't say that. Where did you get that?
Was that on your Twitter?
Like, the DVD. It wasn't me on the DVD. It was AI. It was AI.
I really like Havertz.
But Brighton, mate, everyone was talking about how this was going to be their season. Like, squad just not big enough, is it?
I told you they were going to struggle when they get European football.
I weren't listening to
like,
you.
It's actually such a benefit to teams when they only have that Premier League to focus on. That European game
ain't a benefit to Chelsea.
That just cuts down all your prep time.
Yeah, or Arsenal last season.
I said it ain't a benefit to Chelsea.
Or Arsenal last season.
I'm hoping it is for us, but like De Zerbi got all the praise, especially even early this season, was getting serious amounts of praise about the style of his play and the system that he's implemented at Brighton and this, that, and the other. But here's something for you. Sean Dyche has won more games of football in the Premier League than him this season.
No, I was saying, you talk about De Zerbi, I'm just like, when you're a manager like that plays a specific way, and in terms of your coaching style, like you've heard players in interviews come out and say, like, even Billy Gilmour, when he left Chelsea, he said, trying to settle into a team where, for example, if the ball goes to the fullback, where you have to move as a midfielder, or where the second midfielder has to go wide player, all of those things, getting up to date with that and understanding the patterns and routines of wherever the ball's played, there's another movement. It's really difficult. And obviously McAllister was there and we saw the impact he had. They haven't really replaced that. They haven't really replaced what he did there. But I just think it's really difficult when you play under a manager to adapt to somebody that is so rigid in everything they do and it's so structured. Unless you get the right personnel in, it becomes difficult. I think that's what they're struggling. Also, what's his name's been? Ferguson was out for a period of time. He's back now.
Yeah,
I think
player.
You know, once you get him back scoring, he's a top talent. But I think the amount of games is certainly they're gonna struggle with that because as you mentioned, there the squad depth isn't quite there.
But I think the most important thing is what De Zerbi said about Arsenal. Did you?
Go on. He wants to say it, doesn't he, Steve?
No,
he wants to tell us.
Did you see it, Steve?
No, mate. I don't care.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you anyway. Arsenal played much better than us, which obviously is a standard compliment. They deserve to win the game. We suffered a lot. I think Arsenal are one of the best. Maybe this season, the best team in the Premier League. We are not used to suffering this way. We are used to controlling the game. Thank you very much. Mikel Arteta signed out.
No, it's true. If you're a team, because you think Brighton do dominate possession, when you come up against a team that dominate or like to dominate the ball more than you do, and you're not used to it, and you're only used to playing with the ball, you get exposed a little bit.
Hold on 2 seconds. Steve-O the Madman, we're doing Vibe with 5. I'm going to have to call you afterwards, yeah? Hey, listen, Kudus is leaving really soon, by the way. I'll speak to you soon. Oh, bye-bye. Madman, West Ham fan. Roy Hodgson laughing at Pep. I mean, they're laying it on the flipping table for us, innit? It's on a plate for us, man. What's your thoughts on that, man? Palace seem always a little bit of a bogey team for some of the big clubs, innit?
Well, they are at City. The stats there.
Wait. Did you just say they're laying it on a plate for us? Are you talking about the league?
Yeah.
Get out, you melon.
What? What?
I told you, it's a Liverpool title. That's who's in a title race, not you.
Bro, how can you say that when we're sitting top? You
was top for 93% of the league last year. What happened?
Steve, because we are you ain't even got the guts to say we're challenging. That's what's poor about you. If you don't want to say Arsenal win the league, you should at least say that we're challenging, because we are.
Are you though?
Yeah, they are. Come on.
You was top for 93% of the season and didn't win
Inexperience.
Why are you chatting after 17 games? When are you going to learn?
Inexperience, Steve. Inexperience. We've got it now. You know, if Odegaard isn't...
But you've only got experience of bottling it. That's all you've got.
No, but that's all changed now, Steve. You can see by the way we've been handling games.
You lot have been doing this for literally the last 20 years. I remember when Eduardo broke his leg. Funny. And you lot said you were going to win the double, the Champions League and the league for Eduardo. Arsenal have always had these really strong runs, and as soon as the pressure comes on, you fold like a cheap snakes and ladders board.
Bro, we'll see. All I'm saying is give it a bit of time. I'm not going to get ahead of myself.
Spurs in Spurs.
Go on.
Arsenal are more Spursy than Spurs. You've got 20 years of being Spursy.
Get out of here. That doesn't even make sense. I'm disappointed in that. I really am. I'm disappointed in that comment.
Back to
Roy. You know when you see a manager laugh at another manager like that, you know Pep's bald head must be
You don't want to see that, but
he's been coaching for about 50 years by the way.
No, I know. But you know what's mad, right? Is that City was so in control of the game. It was ridiculous. It was literally like ridiculous. And then it was literally just before the half, right? Because I was watching the game. Just before the half, Mateta, he got a chance. They played a long ball in behind. Edison come out to get a free kick on the edge of the box, which I felt the only way they were going to get a chance at goal as if they were to go long, because City played all of the football in their half, but left themselves vulnerable for a long ball. And Palace weren't using it. They did it just before the half. And I said that last 30 minutes when they got the goal, when Shalop just nicked it.
Yeah.
So that was Shalop nicked it and then he put it across to Mateta. That was, again, a ball that went in behind. And then obviously we saw the counter press from Palace to get the penalty. But that last 25-minute period for City, they had to suffer, which was mad for the game for 75 minutes.
They were in
City
control.
Absolutely dominated. And you never saw Palace even coming away with anything.
And at the Etihad
But they have a good what is it called? Dave, I think this is their third draw now. They've lost 2-1, 2-3 draws, something like that at the Etihad.
And how important is it for
before
Palace
the game when people were giving me them stats? I'm like, they're not going there this weekend and getting anything.
Wow.
And then they did.
Wow.
See, he's laughing. Look at him, Man United fan.
Shout out to Elise being back as well.
See, right there. As a United fan, right, you're laughing with City, but who would you rather win the league, Liverpool or City?
Who?
You already know the answer to that. The answer came up when we was all laughing at Gerrard slipping. Like, that literally gave Manchester City a title, and we don't care. And here's the good thing is, there's 115 reasons why we don't give a shit about City.
115, Steve. Wow. Comedian. Moving on. Really quickly, we're just rattling through these. Tottenham beating Forest 2-0. I'll give it a couple more weeks. Everyone's going to be back on
Tottenham bandwagon.
But honestly, I think that
Kulusevski though in that game,
he's a baller.
Yeah, he is.
Baller.
He is. He was on it.
Richarlison on the score sheet as well. You know, it's interesting. Cole Palmer shines against Sheffield United. I mean,
second half.
Yeah.
Second half. Yeah. First half, Chelsea, for all the possession they had, struggled to break down Sheffield United. Actually, Sheffield United looked more like the team to score in that first half. But yeah, second half, Cole Palmer just come into his own. He obviously gets the goal and then was involved in Jackson's goal. So for 45 minutes, he was ridiculous. Nicholas
Jackson as well. Like, you know, there were some people that were critical of him in front of goal. For someone who's received quite a bit of criticism this season, he has got a decent tally, innit?
Yeah, he scored a few, but he misses too many. He misses too many. Is there another Nunez? He misses too many. He gets chances. I think he's decision making. But he's young, man. He's like the thing is, you got to give these kids chances. Like there's too much pressure on them because they you know, you talk about wanting to develop players and give young players an opportunity in big teams and not just buy, you know, people from overseas and bring them in. You want to see academy players or you want to see young players coming through. But then when they're given a chance, you're expecting them to have, you know, or to be ready-made in terms of 20-plus goals a season. It don't happen like that.
I mean, he scored
first season in the Premier
8
League.
goals in 19 appearances.
It's not bad.
Which is not bad at all. Do you know what I mean?
Who did I hear saying it on one of you lot's pods? What's Anton's pod?
The Take On.
Yeah, the Take On.
Thanks for watching, Fara.
Yeah, I love watching. But the facts on it in terms of like when you compare them, and he was talking about when Drogba come to Chelsea and the goals that he was scoring at this time, and you know, and all the first seasons of top strikers when he was talking about Aguero at City and he spoke about Suarez, they weren't hitting the numbers either, but they were given opportunities and time. And then we saw the outcome in terms of years down the line. They're Premier League legends.
Do you reckon he could end up being a legend for your club?
I don't know. He's another one. When I say about Nunez doing a lot off the ball, he grasps off the ball. He's somebody that, like, you know, he works hard. He's got a really good attitude. He does get into good areas, but again, he just doesn't. His conversion rate isn't great.
He's obviously a problem. Would you start him? Obviously, both fit, him or Brozier. Who starts?
It's difficult because Brozier don't get you goals either. So it's difficult. It depends what you want. Like, I think Jackson works a lot harder off the ball than what Brozier does. He's more athletic than him. But Brozier's strong, powerful, can carry the ball. Probably a bit more technically gifted than Jackson. So I don't know.
Newcastle beating Fulham 3-0. My boy Jack having nothing to say in the group chat this week. He's a Fulham fan and he thought they were, when they beat West Ham,
But
he
you know
was
what?
gonna win.
I actually think Fulham would have got something from that game had Jimenez not been sent off.
Boy,
It was in the balance up to there.
but they didn't. 3-0 to Newcastle. Obviously, we spoke about it earlier on. Burnley losing 2-0 to Everton. Sean Dyche, man, that's 4 consecutive wins in a row. Like, it's like he did the whole, it's us versus the world, isn't it? And I think the bottom, the other teams below, like, are just poor. So
Mate,
Everton ain't getting relegated.
You think them 10 points, if they didn't get them 10 points deduction, like where'd they be sat right now?
I don't know, because I think some of this is because of the 10 point. Yeah,
no, but
man.
it was.
Well, they start now about a point behind United. I think.
Yeah, see, it's mad. Maybe it is, but I think they was doing all right. Then they started. Once Calvin Lewin was back fit, and I think once Dyche got players playing the way that he likes to play and that we've seen for so many years, you know, they say Dyche football, whatever it is, Dyche ball, whatever. Like, they'll get results. Yeah. They're hard to break down. They're hard working, and you've seen from wide areas or set pieces, they'll get goals.
Real quickly, Steve, if you were a betting man, how long does Mohammad Kudus have at West Ham? This one's specifically for Anton Ferdinand.
End of season.
He could go this summer. It depends. It depends if someone puts a sexy enough offer in. There's not a lot of wingers that you think would guarantee you improving your team, but I think Kudus does. Watching that game and then watching United and seeing the difference between what he gives West Ham and what Anthony gives United, and knowing that he cost a third as much, it's not good for the mind, I don't think. He's such a good player.
He's got 14 goals and assists in 24 appearances, man. Only Salah and Haaland have scored more Premier League goals than Jarrod Bowen as well.
He looks dangerous. When he gets on the ball, you actually feel like something might happen. When Anthony gets on the ball, there's 2 things that happen at United right at the moment, and my heart rate doesn't change. One is we get a corner, and I don't care because we don't score off corners. Why are you clapping? You might as well just fucking give him the ball back. And then when Anthony gets on the ball, I don't think anything's going to happen.
Remember when he tried to do the side steps against Bayern Munich? Did you see that?
The other thing, there's something else that Anthony does, is he gives away throw-ins and then acts like it's the most mental decision that he's ever seen in his life. And I'm thinking, just fucking get over it, mate. Like,
that's mad. But I was saying as well, Bowen, 11 goals this season, you know, like moving under the radar.
I was going to say under the radar. Yeah, that season, didn't he, where everyone was hyping him, and then he broke into England. A little bit more quieter last year. Yeah.
Do you reckon he goes to the Euros?
No, because Gareth Southgate's fucking boring.
The thing is, we've seen is Southgate picks, apart from Sterling, players that he trusts and knows well, even if they're not performing. Only Sterling is, I don't know what's happened there, because Sterling, for me, I can't remember when he's flopped for England. You know, he give Pickford numerous amount of chances. He's given Maguire numerous amount of chances. So I don't think that, and Phillips, Calvin Phillips is not playing. He trusts those players and still picks them whether they're playing or not. So I don't think it's a form thing with Southgate when it comes to picking players. But given the fact he's an attacking player, he might have more of a chance. But nah, I don't know.
Paqueta assisting all goals, by the way.
No one knows what Southgate does.
No one knows. Paqueta assisting all 3 goals, by the way, which needs a mention.
By the way, as well.
Yeah, baller. I don't know if he was quite good enough for City, like the 100 mil that they were trying to buy him for.
But Pep likes him.
Yeah, do you reckon he can still
likes him now? Did you see after the game when they played earlier this season, he put his arm? Yeah, he likes him.
That's cheeky, you know.
Pep likes him.
Mad cheeky. Really quickly, Brentford losing 2-1 to Villa. Villa on a mad thing. Moreno scoring for them. Watkins. Go on.
Steve, I've been in a title race.
No.
Okay.
I thought you were.
I was going to say yeah.
Okay. If you said yes, Steve, I would have just walked out. Like, literally. I would have been done.
No, they're not. But they're having a really good season. Really strong season.
Yeah, no, they are. Big ups to them. You know, we're done now, but I just want to give a special honourable mention to Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane. Their form, incredible. I mean, since joining Madrid, Bellingham's got 20 games. He's played 20 games, scored 17 goals and 5 assists. Do you know what's mad?
Mad.
As the weeks are going, he's starting to more and more play like Zinedine Zidane.
You know,
Have you seen it?
When he took his shirt number, it was risky. I was like, because Zidane was my favourite. Like, I love Zidane. Like, I was like,
have you seen him recently?
It's mad.
The little,
it's mad.
the 1-2s, the little, like, it's the nifty stuff. You're like, this is the closest player. And I would have never said beforehand that, oh, Jude Bellingham reminds me of Zidane. I would have never said that. But when you see him now, you go, hang on a minute. This is the closest thing I've seen to Zizou in a while. Madness. And obviously Harry Kane doing
what's his numbers?
Oh, mate. 14, what was it? Fastest to score 20 Bundesliga goals. He's done it in 14 games.
Mad.
Can you imagine? The other records were 21 games and Haaland did it in 22 games.
Mad.
Madness. Absolute madness. Anyway, BBB. This, when's it coming out? Boots,
Tomorrow.
balls and bra.
We're on
Boots,
tomorrow.
balls and bras.
We're on tomorrow.
Yeah?
Tomorrow.
What are you going to be talking about?
London Derby, mate. What happened to your girls?
You know what?
What?
Listen.
When you talk about clinical, I think they had like 35 attempts at goal, 8 on target, and they didn't score any. And I think and Tottenham had 5 in the game, 3 on target, and won 1-0.
I've only got one
Probably
issue.
should have won 2-0.
I've only got
How
one
do you
issue.
batter Chelsea?
Yeah,
right,
the
and
funny thing,
then
I should have
go
said
and
something
lose
to
to
you last
Tottenham.
week. Do you know what? Yeah,
but you can't now because Chelsea is sitting pretty going into the Christmas
I should
break.
have said something to you.
I think it's more embarrassing losing to Tottenham than it is Chelsea.
Yeah, but I think you guys had it coming though. That's the difference.
We're top of the league, guys.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining us on Vibe with 5 this week. Farah, brilliant as usual. Stephen Howson, humble, surprisingly. And myself, Joel Beya. Guess who's back? Top of the league. Guys, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we will be back on the 8th of January with Vibe with 5. We still got some really good content coming out. Harry Pinero has gone to see some amazing players that you guys might know as well. And keep on watching the Take On. And obviously, Heads Gone. Is Heads Gone happening this week, Steve? Yes or no?
Yeah, Christmas special.
So look, it sounds so exciting, isn't it?
They got a name for it now. Head's gone.
Yeah, they finally named it. It's just as bonkers as usual. And obviously, we got the Christmas quiz coming out on Christmas Day. You know what, Farah? You need to get involved in that.
The Christmas quiz.
The Christmas quiz. Let's get Ash involved in it as well, Steve. How about that? And Rio, and yourself, and me. Yeah, I'm making it happen. A big bonanza. Is that what they call it? Bonanza. Yeah, let's all make it happen.
You call it what you want.
Yeah, it's coming soon. All of us on the Christmas quiz. Guys, stay tuned and I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Okay, so Farah and Steve, we have our LiveScore 6 predictions to do this weekend. And Farah, with your mystic powers, I'm expecting for you to give us the right scores this week. Last week, we got 1 correct score. Arsenal 2, Brighton 0. Loved it. And of course, Chelsea beating Sheffield United 2-0 and Everton beating Burnley 2-0. But it's another £100 for the Trussell Trust. And we have now accumulated £1,525. Here are the 6 games this week. What are we thinking? Fulham versus Burnley.
Fulham smack them up.
Yeah, it's true. They're doing all right.
So he's suspended, isn't he? So
Who?
Jimenez, and he was just hitting form as he gets himself sent off at the weekend.
What are we saying? 0-0? 1-1?
What? No.
Fulham beat him. I think Fulham beat him.
You reckon?
Just 1-0.
2-0.
Well, I'll go with what you guys are saying. Is it 1-0 or 2-0?
What are you saying, Steve? I would go on and go 2-0 with.
I think 2.
Go 2-0. Luton Town versus Newcastle. At Luton, by the way.
I know this good. I reckon Luton score.
I see this as a draw, 1-0.
2-1 Newcastle.
What are you saying?
I think Newcastle beat them, but I think Luton score. We could go either 1-1 or 2-1.
So, what are we going for then? 2-1?
Yeah, go on. Newcastle.
Go 2-1. Go 2-1 Newcastle.
Ooh,
Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth.
0-0.
Ooh, there'll be a goal there. There'll definitely be a goal there.
We're in form.
Especially at Nottingham Forest.
Hard to beat. Well, I'm saying.
I say 1-0 or 2-0, you know.
You think a draw?
Yeah, do 1-0.
1-0.
1-1.
Tottenham versus Everton.
This is a tough
This
one
is an
to call.
exciting one, isn't it?
Everton are picking results up. I don't know what the injury situation is with Tottenham. Are they getting anyone back this week?
I'm not sure yet, but it's at White Hart Lane as well. That's the thing.
I want to say an Everton win.
What are you saying? You know what? I actually agree with that. You know, I think Everton's form right now and the confidence that they have.
But Tottenham are scoring. If you think Everton will win, Tottenham are scoring.
So what are we saying? What is it? 3-2?
Everton don't get that many goals. You think
3-2?
That's a bit high, but go on then.
There's loads of goals.
I don't think there's 3 goals in Everton.
Really?
Nah.
You got trumped though.
Are you going 3-2 to Tottenham?
No, 3-2 Everton.
You think Everton beat them 3-2?
It's a mad one, isn't it?
Yeah, you lot are drinking something.
Yeah. Sunderland versus Coventry. Interesting one.
Sunderland win. I don't know what the score.
No idea. Genuinely. Not a clue.
Farah, go on.
I'm going to go What country score? Wait, 2-1 Sunderland.
2-1 Sunderland. I'm going with whatever Farah's going with. Liverpool versus Arsenal. Ooh, there's revenge in us though. That's what I'm saying. There is definitely revenge in us regarding what happened last season, going 2-0 up. I can see it. 2-1 Arsenal. I can.
You think Arsenal beat them away?
Because
Anfield, have they lost the season at home?
Nah, do you know what? They don't lose at Anfield.
That's what I
Even
was
if they've
thinking.
not
They
been
don't lose at
playing well,
home.
they don't lose.
I think this one's an exception.
Score draw.
Yeah, because and on top of that, I don't think their strikers finished their dinner, man. I don't think they really, Gakpo, good players, but if Salah ain't scoring,
I don't think
you will get
lose
another
at home.
No.
No.
I'm going 2-1. So
well, you're the Arsenal fan.
Score draw. 1-1.
Go on, you can go 2-1.
Are you going 1-1?
We'll go with you. I don't think we'll go
with me. 2-1 Arsenal. Thank you very much.
Let him be confident.
It's a good one for the Trust will Trust. And in fact, I'll give an extra 50 quid, yeah, if we get it right. How about that? How about that? Straight from the 5 budget. All right.
I knew it went from your budget. I'll keep
cool.
the quiz balls and bar budget.
Enter by 3 p.m. on Saturday, the 23rd of December for a chance to win 18 plus UK and Ireland only. Full T's and C's apply.